So you want to start a YouTube channel? Let's talk about it. So today's video, I'm talking about how to be consistent on YouTube. Now, one of the biggest reasons you want to try to remain consistent is because the YouTube algorithm truly does love a consistent content creator. The more consistent you are, the more likely it is that the algorithm is going to push your content. Now, that's not to say that it's the only reason why, but I have noticed that consistency really does help creators grow rapidly on this platform. So I have a couple of tools and tips that you can use that will help you remain consistent and not burn yourself out. Hi, my name is Chine and I'm a new business development strategist, and I use my 10 years of corporate finance experience to show you how to start and grow your business even if you have a limited budget. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then go ahead, hit that subscription button down below, and let's get started. Okay, so the very first strategy I'm going to talk about is a content calendars. So a content calendar is any tool that you use that will help you plan out your content. Now that content calendar can be as basic as a $1 calendar that you picked up from your church to something as sophisticated as online tools where you pay a monthly subscription. The tool that you use will really depend on your needs and your budget. In my current workflow, I use my Google spreadsheet where I'm able to plan out my content, and this is also where I store all of my scripts as well. I'll go ahead and link that down below if you're interested in purchasing that. Now, this is where I'm able to plan out my content and figure out which days I'm going to be posting. It's also helped me to plan out my series, which is very important to me because of the nature of the content that I create. For example, my next series is going to be about how to start a clothing line with a limited budget. Now, I'm able to plan out what that series is going to look like with my content calendar. Now, that's also what I used to list out all of the videos that I wanted to create for this series on how to start a YouTube channel. And it's helped me stay organized with everything else that I have going on. So instead of having to try and remember everything or having tons of scraps of paper with my ideas on it, I have everything listed in one place. And because it's a Google Sheet, I have access to it wherever I go. So if I want to do any scripting or planning while I'm out and about, I have full access to it so I can get work done from anywhere. Ultimately, your content planner is going to help you stay on track with your videos, and it's going to be what helps you to get ahead so that you never find yourself trying to scramble for ideas on what content to create. So this is actually going to lead us to the next strategy. So the next strategy is all about batching and scheduling your tasks. One of the things that you need to make sure that you're including in your content calendar are days where you can complete various tasks in bulk. For example, you need to make sure that you have a day where you can just sit down and plan out the videos that you want to create for that month or that quarter or that week or whatever kind of cadence that you want to do that. You don't want to have to try to figure that out on the fly, especially if you are using your channel for business or even for brand collaborations. Typically, you're going to have deadlines within your business and within your brand collabs, so your content calendar should have those deadlines included so that you know what type of content you need to create and by what date you need to create it. This kind of ties back into my video on content objectives. One of the examples I used was the business owner who owned a fashion boutique. If she's trying to promote her products by leveraging trends from Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week and all of the fashion shows, she needs to know when those fashion shows are so that she can take advantage of that. If she plans on dropping a new collection, she needs to have that on her content calendar so that she can create content accordingly. Her content objectives are all about driving sales to her website and building brand awareness. So it defeats the purpose if she's not including that in her content calendar and making sure she's creating content for that purpose. It's going to be very difficult for her to be intentional about that if she doesn't have a consistent long-range view of her content. So along with that, you also need to batch your tasks. So for example, taking one day to plan all of your content for the month is batching your planning day. Another one might be having one day to film 3 or 4 videos, if that's possible for the type of content that you create. And then you might also have one editing day where you then edit those 3 or 4 videos for that day. Another really great task to have is setting aside time each day for engagement with your audience. Now, these are things that can really eat away at your time. So setting very specific time and days to complete these tasks in bulk will really help you to not only be more productive and efficient, but it can also help you get ahead with your content. For example, Given the nature of the content that I create, I have set content creation days where I film a batch of content. The reason why this is effective for me is because I set up my teleprompter and my camera once, and then I just sit in front of the camera and film 4 videos. That means that I only get ready once and I only do my makeup once, but I get a lot out of that. Instead of having to do my makeup 4 separate times for 4 separate video shooting days. The next strategy I'm going to talk about that will help you be consistent is repurposing your content. Now, I talked about this in the previous video, but repurposing your content is going to save you a whole lot of time. Instead of creating one video that you can use on TikTok and then one video to use on Pinterest and then another video that you can use on Instagram Reels, think about how you can just create one video and post them on all 3 of those platforms. Or what would be even better is if you can create just one YouTube video and figure out how to edit it so that you can use it for those other platforms without having to create separate videos. Now, that is going to save you a lot of time, especially if you're able to be strategic about it. I go into a lot more detail about this in my ebook, but I'm going to keep it simple here. The next strategy I'm going to talk about is using a scheduling tool. What I love about scheduling tools is that they allow you to upload your batch created content so that they post when you want them to post without you having to stop what you're doing in order to go post. Now, the more advanced scheduling tools have some additional features as well that will help you with your analytics and post optimization, such as figuring out when the best time to post for your specific audience would be. I specifically like scheduling tools that support multi-platform integration. For example, I like to use Metricool because it integrates with YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, and a couple of other platforms so that it becomes a one-stop shop for me when I upload my content. Now, in addition, another feature that I would look for in a scheduling app would be social listening. So social listening is an advanced tool that enables you to monitor and analyze conversations and mentions. Essentially, it allows you to engage with your audience from different platforms all in one place. So within that one tool, I can see my comments from YouTube as well as my comments from Instagram, and I can reply to those comments from within that one app. This makes community building and audience engagement so much easier, and Metricool allows me to go ahead and do that. So I can answer questions from YouTube and TikTok all in one place and in one app without having to go to a bunch of different places to manage that. The final strategy is probably the most important, and I love that it's going to be pretty much the last thing I talk about from a strategy perspective, and that is all about being authentic. So creating content is hard. There are so many moving parts, and you're going to encounter negativity from someone out there who will crap all over you and all over your ideas despite not even knowing you or even listening to your content. So it's already hard enough. It's going to be even harder if you're showing up as a fake or a fraud. I don't care what anyone says. Wearing a mask is difficult, and you're going to have a hard time with the business part of content creation if you're not being authentically yourself. And because of that, there's going to come a point where you're not going to be able to do it anymore. I can almost guarantee that if you're faking it, you're going to reach burnout pretty quickly. And that's not to say that you can't put your best foot forward. The way that I would describe it is when you first start creating content, you're going to be a diamond in the rough. But when you show up on your YouTube channel, it's totally fine to be polished, to be a polished version of yourself. But a polished version of you is still going to be a diamond. It's not going to all of a sudden become a ruby. It's okay to be a polished version of you as long as you are still you. The world is already full of copycats and fakes and phonies. They don't need another copycat. They need an authentic version of you. No one else can be you except you. So go ahead, bring your uniqueness, whether that's your unique cultural, ethnic, or religious background. It could even be your own unique style or way of doing things. That uniqueness is going to serve you well, and it's going to help make your personal brand that much better. All right, so that is all for today's video. This one was pretty short and sweet. And that is it for this series. So it's been a long time coming, but quite frankly, I'm actually really excited to get to my next series. I'm going to be going through how to start a clothing line, even if you're working with a limited budget. So make sure that you stick around and subscribe for that content. So I'm so excited to really share that with you guys and help wherever I can. Now, this is the final video that I have planned out, but if any new developments or ideas crop up surrounding how to start a YouTube video or how to start a YouTube channel, I will definitely go ahead and continue adding them to this playlist. If you have any additional questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments down below, and I will try to get to them as quickly as I can. If you would like some additional help with strategizing for your channel, whether that be for marketing or monetization purposes, or something else that you have heard in this series, or for your future day 100 business goals, feel free to head on over to my website at businessonabudgetco.com and book a session with me, and we can talk more about it. Bye.